Yo, what's going on, guys? My name is KarQ. Welcome to the KarKives, the KarQ Archives YouTube channel, my second channel where it's a lot more casual. We got tier list, gameplay, all that fun stuff. Today, I'm going to do the successor tier list to yesterday's tier list, which is who to nano, or what the tier list of Ana's Nano Boost priority is if the target has their ultimate. Today, it's going to be if they don't have their ultimate available. First up, we have D.Va. I think nanoing D.Va to dive and all into target is actually one of the better tank nanos to give. It allows D.Va's burst potential. Like, she can already almost one combo a 200 HP hero with that whole like boost in damage, micro missile with the melee at the end while primary firing, and makes her extra tanky without having to use her matrix, and allows her to soak more, go in, arm people up without having to waste time matrixing. So it's one of the better nanos to give in the game. I'm going to put it in A tier. Doomfist, I think this one mostly depends if you can get the powered up charge. If I'm not mistaken, nanoing Doomfist makes it so that he takes less damage, and it requires him to power block and absorb more damage to get his empowered punch. That being said, if he already has his empowered punch charged and waiting, nanoing Doom could be really powerful to help his slam engagement. The punch does a lot, allows his primary fire to help kill targets, but I think it's okay. I'm gonna put it in B tier. Junker Queen without her ultimate, depends if she lands the knife. Obviously the primary fire is gonna do a bit more. Commanding Shout doesn't really get benefited, although nanoing like the axe swing and all that fun stuff is pretty good. Right in the middle of the pack, gonna put it in B tier. Reinhardt with the hammer swings, actually really good. You'll notice a lot of Rhines in the front line get nanoed. They do so much swing damage, 120, makes the fire strike do like 130 or something like that. The charge also allows him to kill 250 HP heroes when nanoed, because right now charge in Overwatch 2 is nerfed, where if you pin a 250 HP target, it only does 225 and it doesn't kill them. Nanoing the charge allows you to do like 300 something damage, which also helps him when he's pinning tanks. It's like nanoing Ryan without his Earth Shadows, still a pretty good nano. I'm gonna put it in A tier. Orisa, I'm gonna put it here. If you can land the spear, it certainly helps that and allows you to follow up. It's like B, like in the middle of the pack, it's decent. It doesn't change Fortify's tankiness. Fortify already makes her like take like 40 or 50% damage reduction, and Nano Boost already gives 50% damage reduction while nanoed, and doesn't stack because it's always capped in Overwatch at 50% damage reduction. So stacking Fortify with nano is not my favorite. That being said, obviously her primary fire does like 12 damage per bullet, does amp it quite a bit, and allows her to really rip people apart. Makes her tanky without having to burn those defensive cooldowns. So it's right in the middle at B tier. Roadhog, I think yesterday we graded Roadhog at S tier when he has Whole Hog, because it's a really good combo, but when he doesn't have it, it doesn't change how much he heals, and his hook combo already kills almost all the squishies in the game, like 200 HP heroes. 250 HP heroes are a little bit more challenging to get the, hook shot melee, which nano can help in that situation, but without Whole Hog, this is actually not one of my favorite nanos. I'm gonna put it in C tier. Sigma already one-shots people if he gets the rock onto a primary fire onto them. This just allows him to poke a little quicker, but he shoots, his tempo while he shoots is really slow, and like I have thousands of hours on Ana. I almost never nano Sigma unless he's about to ult to kind of give him some tankiness, and I generally, when he doesn't have his ultimate flux sometimes, I generally only ult him if I have to save him or I need him to stay in the front line because we're like down 2 people. He needs to stay, like it's a survivability nano. So I'm just gonna put him in this tier. Winston, one of the best nanos to give to your tanks. If you have a Winston, he's like a high nano priority without primal rage, because Tesla Cannon's AoE, it's such a great tempo ultimate because you're most likely going to build your nano boost before Winston gets his primal. This allows him to farm his primal so easily. He can just jump in, drop a bubble, and just zaps clumps of people with that 50% damage boost. Makes him extra tanky so he doesn't get bursted before he can leap out in worst case scenarios. One of the best, sitting in S tier. Wrecking Ball. I actually think nanoing Wrecking Ball right before he slams is fantastic, because pile drive already does so much damage, and nanoing a pile drive, if they land right in the center, does so much. I think it's 100 if you get pile drive in the center, so it does 150, which means Wrecking Ball just follows up with a little primary and it's good. A lot of times I'll nano ball like as he's swinging, saying he's about to go in. Not necessarily if he's booping people from high ground, unless he's following with the pile drive. It's mostly nanoing the pile drive. That's where all the power comes from, because all of them get pulled up. Best part about this is even when Wrecking Ball is going up and you're going to use the mines, nanoing him right before he does that allows the slam to start building the ult charge for the next mine. His Wrecking Ball is unique where he can actually gain ult charge while his current ultimate is out, which a lot of heroes can't do. For example, even Ana, when you nano someone, every person you're healing and dealing damage to, you're going to be stuck at 0% of your ultimate charge until the nano is over. Wrecking Ball is different. You nano Nano him right as he's slamming. Again, you pile drives with the slam, drops the mines. That slam will probably bump him up to 20%. Go watch a ball main with the nano combo and you'll see. Zarya, B if no charge. High energy, one of the best in the game. Obviously, Zarya is everywhere right now in Overwatch 2, especially if you're watching now in around October, November of 2022. And you'll notice nanoing Zarya is unkillable. She already does so much damage at high charge. Just make it even better with 50% more of whatever the hell she's doing with her damage. Plus, it means she doesn't have to cycle her bubbles as much, and it makes her so much tankier, right? Having 50% damage reduction means you have to deal double the damage. It's 475 health, which means you need to do 950 raw damage to her if she doesn't get healed to even kill her. And she has 2 bubbles. She's probably going to get a little bit of healing. It's just too much. One of the best in the game. Nanoing Ashe. I actually think nanoing Ashe, like if she has dynamite available, is actually quite strong. It allows her to almost kill. I think it does kill if you nano the dynamite. It's pretty good. Doesn't do anything with coach gun. It's actually mostly for the dynamite and it helps with the headshots and stuff. That being said, it still depends if the Ashe can hit stuff. Like Winston and Zarya, it's like pretty easy to just hit stuff. This is still dependent on aim, because she's more of a precision hero, but it's not terrible. I normally don't do it that often though, so like I would grade it lower than B tier because it's pretty uncommon. You'll usually find better options. Usually you want to focus on nanoing S or the A tiers. B and C are usually like, I guess there's no one else. And then this is like only if you have to save them. Bastion, pretty good. Bastion is obviously does a lot of damage when he's in sentry form. This just makes it even quicker to kill because like it's all about that time window if you can burst someone before they get into natural cover. And this just shortens that window with that big damage boost. His sticky grenade actually does like 130 damage or something, if I'm not mistaken. That thing hurts. So if you nano while he shoots that actually like pretty much kills, does it not? 65, close to killing, and it makes him like strong outside of it when he shoots in his turret form. Same with Mccassidy. Magnetic grenade doesn't kill, but it does boost it if you do stick somebody. If you do boost it and it sticks somebody. The fan the hammer gets a lot more potent, which allows him to burst tanks up close. Again, this is a more precision hero, but it's certainly not as bad as Ashe because he has fan the hammer. It's like way easier to like get instant value if you nano him up close. He's super tanky. Brrr, fan the hammer, roll fan the hammer. Look for some precision shots. 140 on the head. It's 70 damage, 140 on the head, and if you get nanoed, it's 1 dink kills. So a single dink when nanoed, dead. So it's right in the middle, pretty good. Echo, one of the better nano targets, even without her duplicate, strictly because it allows her to like fly lower with a lower chance of getting bursted down because she takes so much less damage. It allows her to get into range to quickly sticky bomb and beam assassinate without the fear of getting killed back. That's the biggest thing. And obviously the tri shots don't have any fall off damage, her primary fire, but the closer you are to the target, the less they spread out, which means you have a higher chance of having them all connect. Less about the damage because Echo already does so much, but more about allowing her to fly a little bit lower. That's like the biggest strength of it. She doesn't have to fly as high to poke. Gets a little lower. Pew, 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 pew. It's over. Genji. Obviously, we know Genji Blade in the last tier list is really good, but even nanoing Genji before he has Dragon Blade is actually quite good because he's such a feast or famine hero. He can assassinate targets pretty well. The dash, clumpy shurikens, like a clump of like nanoed shurikens with a dash and a melee is more than enough to kill someone. And I actually think it's pretty good. I'll find sometimes I just nano my Genji at 60% ult charge. Obviously, it's S tier if it's with Blade, but even at like 85% to 90, if he's like 85 or 90 to Blade and like we should just go now to take a team fight, I'll just nano the Genji because more than likely he just dashes through like 4 people and he'll get enough for his ultimate. And then worst case, he just goes and assassinates people, gets resets. He's very feast or famine, just allows them to do it without much risk of taking much damage back because they need to do 400 damage to him to kill him because he's 50% tankier and he also has a deflect in worst case to save himself. Hanzo, not my favorite. If he has storm arrows at 65 damage with the nano, it puts it at like 97.5. Honestly, in Overwatch 1, when Storm Arrow was 70 damage per arrow, nanoing it makes each Storm Arrow do 105. It actually was not bad, but generally speaking, I don't nano Hanzo almost ever. Not only to save them, because sometimes I do it, but yeah. Junkrat, I would almost put it here, but like flank Junkrat is more of a powerful style in higher elos. Like Junkrat already bursts people with a grenade plus mine and already kills people, so it doesn't change that. This just allows them to play the dive Junkrat safer, where he like can actually safely go into the back line. It's not a great nano because again, even if he's nanoed, he would still require 2 hits of something, whether it's grenade plus mine or grenade or mine to kill something. It doesn't change that break point because it does 180 each because everything does 120 times 50%, 60, 180. You still need to hit 2 back to back anyways, so I generally don't nano Junkrat, only to save him. In Overwatch 1, I would also put Mei here, but in Overwatch 2, her primary fire no longer freezes, and it went from 50 DPS to 100 DPS, which means 100 DPS with nano is 150 DPS. She doesn't have to waste time like ice blocking to like dodge stuff. She's extra tanky and she just walks up to you. Like if she's in range of people, it's actually like not a bad nano at all now. It does so much damage. So I'm gonna put it in B tier. Pharah. If I look at this, I would say nanoing Pharah is better than these ones. Even without Barrage, Barrage was one of the better, like one of the best nano combos to have, like with the ultimate, but without it, it makes it way easier to hit back-to-back rockets. Generally speaking, with Pharah, if she lands 2 directs, a lot of the times in high elos, if she lands 1 direct, the person who gets hit by a direct gets healed or gets hit by an Ana shot to like buff up enough healing that the second direct won't kill just yet. Because the Pharah flies so high in the sky, it like takes a while for one and it takes a while for the second. In that window when it travels, the person who got hit by a direct gets healed enough that the second one doesn't kill. I just repeated myself, but I'm just trying to let you imagine it, right? When you nano the Pharah, the 120 direct turns to 180, making that window to heal them a lot shorter. They don't get that healing, that second one direct will kill, or worst case, the splash will definitely do enough to kill. And it forces the enemy team to also have to look up and deal with it. Like they can't just like ignore the Pharah if she's like missing the directs and splash. Like they have to deal with this nano Pharah or like run. It's such a high value nano because they have to actually like deal with it or just get into cover. Reaper, also a great nano, even without his Death Blossom. Like sometimes my Reaper will TP in, I just nano him because he gets up close and he's an assassin. He gets that movement speed reset. He can wraith in, get even deeper. Pretty good nano boost. Sojourn, it's okay. Like she's already so powerful without it. It's not as necessary to help her snowball because she kind of just holds rails and just waits for like a one shot. Obviously, if she's like mid brawl and fighting, she's not terrible, but I don't find myself nanoing a Sojourn without her ultimate or even with her ultimate as often as these heroes. So I kind of just leave her in the middle at B. Same with Soldier. I generally don't nano him unless he has visor. It's okay sometimes, but it still depends if he lands the shots. It's better on like Cassidy because of the burst healing and all that stuff, but I don't think it like gives enough oomph to his bullets. I think it's 18 per body right now. It puts it at 27. I mean, sure, it's okay, but not as bad as these. I mean, we'll just leave it in B tier, I guess. Sombra. Ooh, Sombra's good. Like you can nano Sombra in stealth. She's almost guaranteed to pull off a hack because she does it while invisible, which obviously if they're hacked, they take amplified damage from her. So nanoing her almost ensures she assassinates her 1 clips before she has to teleport out. So I'm going to leave it in A tier. Symmetra in B, it just depends if she has level 3 beam. It's certainly easier to get like high charge on Zarya than it is to get level 3 beam on Zarya. If she's level 3 beam and you nano her, oh my god, she's like A or S tier. And then with the secondary fires, it does allow her to back like a right click charge, kill them. 200 HP heroes pretty easily, but yeah, I'd say it's like B. It's okay. Torbjorn, I'm gonna put it at C. It certainly helps, but he's like a slow projectile. You kind of just spam with this hero and you kind of just get lucky. I generally don't find myself nanoing Torb unless it's actually to save them, but I think it's better than saving. Like it's with Torb, I don't know how else to kind of like explain it articulately. Like he's already tanky with overload. The Cheetos, like sure, if he's up close and he wants a shotgun, it's like, that's why it's in C tier. But like because it's projectile, it's not as consistent. It doesn't amplify his turret damage or anything. I'm gonna leave it in C tier. Tracer, one of the better ones, especially now that her bullets got nerfed in Overwatch 2 compared to Overwatch 1. It's like it allows her to like one clip a lot easier and get resets and just like cause havoc. It's a lot better value for a Tracer to like, you know, and it creates a lot of space for your team. This Torb example, like it doesn't create as much space because he kind of just like chucks and like he's not as threatening, but Tracer is very threatening to backlines when she's boosted by that nano boost, and obviously she's 150 HP, so like nanoing makes her, you know, 300 HP effectively because she takes half damage, makes her less vulnerable, gives her higher assassination power. I'm gonna leave it in A tier. Widowmaker, it's troll to kind of nano a Widow. Like I don't do it unless I'm trying to like absolutely save her. She already one shots. It doesn't change anything. The body shot's 120 at full charge, goes to 180. You have to shoot back-to-back shots anyway, so don't nano Widow unless you're trying to save them. You can't nano yourself unless you're playing deathmatch, so I'm skipping Ana. Baptiste, I generally just don't nano Baptiste ever. Maybe if he already has his like, if we play Ana Bap and he has window, then I could nano Bap and like shoot through it, but you might as well nano somebody else that's shooting behind it. Not my favorite. I'll generally only nano Baptiste when I have to save him. Brig, however, in the middle of the pack. I actually like this one. I call this one the raid boss nano because it allows Brig to not have to play passively with shield up. It allows her to just press W and just swing away. The swings do like, she does like 35 base and now makes the swings do like 50 something, 52. If it's 35 divided by 2, 17.5, 52.5 damage per swing. One swing, bash to 75 now instead of 50. 1, 2, bash, boop. Does that kill? I think it does. I think one swing with 50 into bash 70 into boop might kill, but I'll have to confirm the numbers. One swing, bash, boop. Okay, we'll do the math on the screen. Anyways, regardless, it allows her to play less passively, it makes her a threat, especially if she pops Rally in conjunction while being nanoed, and it just allows everybody around her to get all that passive healing as well. It's okay. It's like B tier. Kiriko, no matter what, if you nano her, her kunais will have to deal back to back to kind of like kill people, back to back headshots, or I guess one headshot, one body shot would kill compared to not nanoing her. But like generally speaking, you don't. There's just so many better people to nano than Kiriko. It's too inconsistent. Don't do it. Boostio should have its own tier. Accidental Boostios. You don't nano Lucio unless you accidentally do it, A, or B, you're trying to save them. Same with Mercy. Don't do it. In the other tier list, when she has Valkyrie, like playing Assassin Mercy with a pistol while in Valk, not bad. Other than that, don't bother. Doesn't change anything for her. Doesn't allow her to heal or damage boost any more than she already is. Moira, with Coalescence, good. Without Coalescence, she's just supposed to be a nuisance in the backline. I just almost never nano her unless I'm trying to save. Same with Zenyatta. I'll nano if she gets jumped by like 2 flankers, and that's it. Like other than that, too inconsistent with the projectile shots. And that is my tier list on who to nano boost when they don't have their ults. That is my experience with Ana with thousands of hours on her. Appreciate you guys watching this one. Make sure to thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on stream at twitch.tv/KarQ. That's all from me. Wait. Art. Peace. Out.